Meeting Tracy has been totally a life changer for me. I've been on my health and fitness journey for probably most of my life. And last May, I decided that I needed to really kick the gear up and decided to hire a nutritionist. And I really had no idea where to even find a nutritionist, to be honest with you. So I just Googled it. And I stumbled across Tracy and read her profile and really had this sort of connection with her. And I just kind of knew when reading her profile, she's the one that's going to be right for me. And so since then, I've been working with Tracy probably on average every other week. In the beginning, it was definitely every week. And the journey has been totally impactful. And I know it sounds cheesy, but she's really, really changed my life for the better. And even my husband jokes about how much I have just changed for the better. And he says that I'm no longer as just, I don't know, lethargic. I would sort of just lay around. I would just be bloated a lot. So I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin, which is crazy. Just not feeling comfortable in your own skin every day. I couldn't really figure out why I was bloated all the time. And I was sort of this caffeine addict. So it's okay, well, if I'm not feeling energized, I'm not feeling great, let me just pump my veins full of a bunch of caffeine. Well, little did I know that sort of all of these traits that I had and habits that I had were really detrimental to my health. And then really just all of my, I don't know, the things that I thought were healthy, but really they weren't healthy at all. And overall, I was a pretty healthy person, but I was just kind of making these little mistakes, falling for really great marketing and, oh, this is healthy for you, and really not reading into the ingredients. So I really would just like to point out a few things. If you're kind of in this journey yourself and you're looking for extra help, I'm being totally honest with you. Do not hesitate. Tracy is definitely your girl. So what I'm going to do is I had to write these down because I really had to do a lot of self-reflection over the last 9 months and really figure out, okay, these are the things I forgot. These were my struggles before that I'm not really dealing with today, all because of her help. So I'm just going to run through these few things with you. So I'm going to read off this list. So forgive me for that. But, so number one, this was a huge one for me. I did not know that I was gluten sensitive. So you hear a lot about gluten intolerances, but I didn't even know that there was a thing below that where it's hey, you could have a sensitivity to it and actually not feel great. Well, anyway, I did some blood work that she recommended and I discovered that I had a gluten sensitivity. Also found out that I had a small intolerance or sensitivity to eggs, which I was eating every single day because they're healthy, they're good for you, it's a good source of protein. Little did I know that I was actually feeding myself gluten, with bread, even whole wheat bread, which was healthy, and eggs and, various other items. But those are really big and really impactful for me. I've cut out gluten and I am gluten-free for 5 months now, and I can tell you I feel a huge difference in just that alone. The other thing I wanted to mention is Tracy helped me become caffeine-free, which oddly enough for me, if you met anyone that I've been close to, especially my husband, he saw me make 3 lattes a day. And I loved them. It was my ritual every morning. I mean, the night before, I would be dreaming about my delicious cup of coffee that I would have in the morning, the next morning. And I found out that was actually a disservice to my body because my energy levels have been amazing without caffeine. And granted, the first couple of days were very challenging, but once I got beyond that, it's just been incredible. So she really helped me understand my sort of addiction to caffeine and kind of how to in a healthy way, get out of that. The next thing here is putting thought into what I was eating. So really understanding the relationship behind why am I choosing this? Why am I eating this at this time? just really understanding my relationship with food and the things that I was sort of addicted to. And really just helped me have a better relationship with that. So do I really need these like chocolate chip cookies? No, like kind of having that dialogue, understanding that dialogue. So she really helped me with that also. Learning how to write down not only what I'm feeding myself, but like what mood am I in when I'm eating this meal, or these meals. And then documenting, like learning how to document these steps and then understanding, oh, I felt bloated after that meal. Well, it's probably because I was eating in a rush to a meeting. I wasn't chewing all my food properly. And I was in a kind of a stressful mindset in that moment. So really understanding the connection between the emotions that you're feeling and then what you're eating, when you're eating, and how you're eating it. So like I never really understood that. And she's completely changed my relationship with all of that and really understanding me as a person and my habits and learning how to make those changes. This is a really big one, but what environmental toxins exist in our world and how to avoid them? So this is huge. I mean, this was a total mind-blowing one for me. And my husband also has adopted some of these traits. So like what's in our water, like reading all of your like just ingredients in general, like what's being put in our foods, how that food is being grown, what it means to be an organic eater, why that's important, not drinking out of a water bottle because of the plastics, eating food that comes in plastic. I mean, she is so knowledgeable about all of this, and it's been really, really impactful in changing our day to day and trying to eliminate as much exposure as possible to these toxins. Let's see. So the next one here is honestly the biggest one on the list. And it's actually the last thing on the list that I'll leave you guys with today. But what I really have enjoyed about Tracy and our time together is she's not just a nutritionist. That's not just, I mean, she is very skilled in that area, but that's not all she can do. She's not just limited to that. My husband and I have been experiencing some infertility, and, throughout this very painful journey, she's been able to really shine some light on some changes that we can make with foods that we're eating, supplements, mood. Like she goes beyond what she suggests for just like food. She's really, truly a life coach, and she's really helped she's understood us and like what we need, and she's been able to really coach us in understanding like what our goal is. So she'll say, hey, because I know you guys would like to have a baby, I would suggest going this route and that route. So really me being vulnerable and sharing that with her has really opened up this whole new sort of area in our practice and our journey together for her to give suggestions and really help us in something that we're experiencing. So I would say overall, my journey with her has been phenomenal in understanding what foods are just not good for me, understanding the microbiome in the gut, understanding the balance there and how to improve that, the foods, what to eat, what not to eat, what it means to be organic, environmental challenges that can be very toxic to us, infertility, life coaching, helping me understand what it means to take time for me and how much that affects me on like a cellular level, and how that really everything comes full circle. So I know that was a lot of information, but I just can't tell you enough how impactful she's been and just how she is more than just a nutritionist. So I really hope that you can have a similar journey with Tracy, and definitely give her a call. Thank you.